So we have Medicare added as a primary for this gentleman. Now we're going to add another insurance. And we're going to make this a secondary. And we are going to, let's say it's one of the Horizon. So again, for the Horizon, I'm just going through some of these. All Horizons that you probably want to search with HOR. It's the easiest way to do it. Here's NOVI is again Medicare. AARP will search for AARP. Some of these other things, AmeriHealth, you can search by AmeriHealth, Aetna, TRICARE. Most of the other things you won't be searching for. Okay. Now, Horizon is a little confusing because we have multiple different Horizons. You're going to want the PO box. So you're going to ask the patient for the PO box on the back side of the card. And you're also going to actually have to ask for the exact plan number. A very common plan that we see is the locals. Local will be a PO Box 1219. So, for example, in this gentleman's case, let's say that we search for Horizon. And again, there's a lot of these 1609s, but if the patient is local, it's going to be basically this one. Doesn't really matter which one you choose, but we'll choose this one. And again, the insured, in this case, I showed you how to make it someone who's not the patient. In the last case, it was Abigail Test. In this case, we'll just make it Test George. And again, you're going to click on the insured. We'll choose whichever one it is. And again, if we had to add someone, we would add it up here through this, and it'd be identically to the identical procedure to actually adding a patient or choosing a patient who's already in Prime Suite. So we chose George. And we're going to click over here, policyholder. Very important. We don't type anything. We don't type anything in the policyholder. We just click on the policyholder, and then the policy number. We'll type that in. And again, usually Horizon, there will be several letters and followed by numbers. You will need to type the entire card. No spaces, no dashes, nothing. And then you'll type in the group number, effective date, all those things. And now we have a secondary insurance. Okay. If you want to edit it, then you'd click there and you'd be able to edit it. Double click and you'd be able to edit it accordingly. Okay. So just some examples going through this again. Medicare insurance card. When asking the patient for a Medicare policy number, you will need, it'll say Medicare claims number. You need to save it without dashes, and it'll usually be numbers followed by a letter. Everything needs to be capitalized. And Medicare patient will only show active if all the correct demographics for the patient are saved correctly in the chart. The patient is junior, senior, or has a middle initial. This all needs to be saved in the demographic information. Everything needs to be saved. Okay. It's important for the patient to know if they have Medicare only and they do not have a secondary, they will be responsible for 20% of the bills. Okay, and again, this is Novitas Medicare. And this is just how, again, this is how it looks like when we searched, which I demonstrated. All right. Very rarely you'll see some out-of-state Horizon. And again, you always want to ask exactly what type of insurance it is in order to narrow it down. And the PO box is the best way to go. Is the best way the easiest way to do this. Again, the locals will be 1219 as the PO box, and it'll say that right on the card. And you need to choose that precise thing. And this is an example of a locals back of the card. They'll say PO box 1219. Okay. And again, don't search. If you search by federal, it will pull up the wrong plan. Always for these plans, it's going to be Horizon Federal Blue Cross Blue Shield, but always search by Horizon. All right. And the federal insurance basically will be it'll say PO Box 656. That will show up as well. And this is just how we search for these things. PO Box 656. Oftentimes, just asking for the PO box will give us enough information to find the plan. Some example of different AmeriHealth plans. Again, get the PO box and find out the exact name of the insurance that the patient has. Administrator, same thing with Aetna. We went over already how to save a policy holder other than the patient. Okay. Self-pay policy. It's important to know that we do see self-pays occasionally. If the patient has insurance that we do not take, or if they have an insurance that we do not take, we can see them as a self-pay. A lot of patients will opt not to do this when they find out our fees. If a patient has a form of Medicaid, they can be directed to call the Atlantic City Clinic, and this is the telephone number, 609-572-6028. If the patient opts to come see us as a self-pay, there will be a $300 deposit that is needed at the time of the scheduled appointment. This deposit then goes towards the balance from their appointment, which can range up to and over $2,000 for their appointment. Although the initial appointment usually costs somewhere around $270 to $300. A self-pay patient will need a credit card on file as well. So the patient will need to bring the credit card with them, and our kiosk system will actually make a copy of it and store it for 365 days. They must have a credit card or they will not be seen. Okay. These patients who are self-pay, they will also need to have a note in the chart, okay, as well as a flag set. I will show you how to do the flag and the note right now. You should be familiar with notes. The flags I will show you with the understanding that depending on our standard operating protocol, you may not be asked to do this. Okay, but this is what the flag actually looks like. This is what a flag system looks like, and you would choose a self-pay flag. Okay, so let's say, going back to our patient George test, we'll ignore these insurance things for now. Let's say the patient is going to be a self-pay patient. So we will actually make a note, a MISC note, and we will write self-pay. Patient is a self-pay patient. Okay, and he understands that, we'll click over here. No, you may not get that option screen. Okay, this over here is to set a flag. We're going to click over there, and we're going to click the self-pay flag. Okay, and we're going to click the save. And now, as you can see over here, up here where we find all the flags, he now has a self-pay $300. That means that he will need to pay $300 in order to be seen. Okay, some other things to keep in mind. We only see patients 18 and older. We do not see children. If someone is 17 years and 364 days, they have to wait a day before they will be seen. Okay. Don't worry so much about if a patient passes away, that we do have a flag for that. It's probably easier if you just send us a task and we can take care of that. Okay. Some basic rules of things that are very easy to miss. Again, the locals, they will often be a casino worker, so it may say Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa, but generally they will have a P.O. Box 1219. And again, that's Horizon Local. We went over what that looks like. Again, with the federal, you don't search for federal. That will be Horizon Federal. NJX, if the patient has those three initials and you're confused what it is, that will be Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield Direct.